Okay, good evening. This is the Thursday, February 2nd, 2023 Planning Commission meeting for the City of South Haven. I'll call the meeting to order. And Luke, if you'd please call the roll.
Clark Gruber, Larry Heinig,
Here.
Darrell Williams,
Here.
Michael Neese,
Here.
Amy Nichols,
Here.
Laiji Hanny,
Here.
George Sleeper,
Here.
Janice Varney,
Here.
Tim Stegman.
Here. Item 3, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up, item 4, approval of the meeting minutes. You have a January 5th regular meeting and a January 5th subcommittee workshop.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes, both the regular meeting from January 5th and the subcommittee workshop meeting from January 5th.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up, we did receive communication from 3 people. Dan Agnello regarding short-term rentals, Lane Herbert, short-term rentals, and Mary Hasley, short-term rental snapshot report concerns. I think that was it. It was 3, correct? Okay. And unfinished business, item 5, building height zoning text amendments and public hearing.
Thank you. All right, over the past couple of months, the Planning Commission has reviewed proposed changes to the zoning regulations involving building height. The primary purpose, as you'll recall, is to remove story limitations in all of the zoning districts. This means building height would be measured in numerical feet only rather than in feet and stories. And this is in accordance with the direction of City Council. And the text also better defines the point from which height is measured. So we last discussed this at our November meeting, and residential building height seemed to be the sticking point. The current text has not changed from that November review, and residential height maximum is set at 30 feet, which is a reduction from the current 35 feet and a further reduction of the 40-foot maximum that was allowed prior to 2015. So as you stated, Mr. Chair, we need to conduct a public hearing tonight, have some discussion on the residential building height maximums, and make a decision on whether or not we're ready to recommend the text to City Council.
Okay, could you put up in between page 9 and 10 on the screen? That we're gonna hit the 5 items. That we can see them all. There you go. Okay. All right. Does the commission have any questions for staff? Okay. Any comments before we open a public hearing?
Well, I've got just some comments. So I know that we talked a little bit about the 30 feet versus the 35 feet back at the November meeting. I know from the standpoint of City Council, we were looking to reduce the number of non-conforming properties, which is why we were going with the 35 feet without a story limitation. So in my mind, reducing the height to 30 feet will further raise the number of non-conforming properties. That's my concern with going with 30 feet. I'm still would like to go with 35 feet. I think that gives people more flexibility to do what they want with their property. I understand the argument for the concern with potential for having buildings that are not in line with what's in the neighborhood, but that can be done a lot of different ways other than building height. So I think just the fact that we're trying to reduce the number of non-conforming properties is the reason why I'm leaning toward going back to 35 feet.
Anybody else right now? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
Make a motion to open public hearing on.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to open a public hearing. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Anyone in the audience wish to address the commission on this item? State your name. You have 5 minutes.
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. First, I incorporate all of the comments I provided to date that should be part of the record associated with this, and I would request that those be part of the record for the public comments. I don't think I have to repeat myself every time that this item comes up. Key factors are that I disagree with the way that the building height is measured from the natural grade. I don't know any natural grade that still exists in this community with all of the demolition, reconstruction, moving earth, et cetera. I think there are significant flaws with the proposed measurement. With regard to the whole reason this is before you, Councilman Sleeper, I respectfully disagree. It's not to decrease the number of non-conforming properties. It is because in trying to understand how these humongous homes got built, these towers on Elkenberg got built, I started looking through the zoning ordinances, and I painfully looked at every single amendment. And anyone who knows me knows that that's exactly what I did. And what came to light is after I finally got the official documents, because of all the official documents on the city site, 2015 were nowhere to be found. In trying to get the official documents, I was told by city staff that they were too busy. If I needed them, I could file a FOIA, which I did. After months, I finally got information that, golly gee, there was a typographical error when they were transcribing the zoning amendments in December 2015 into the official document. The 2-story limitation that was included got omitted, forgotten. And that is how in that amendment, and it's very unfortunate that staff does not provide both sides of the story, but only the story that will get you where they want you to go. No, it's not the number of non-conforming properties. It is what is right for this community. What kinds of homes do we want in this community? Our family sizes are shrinking. We do not need 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom homes for our families. Business STRs need them for mini hotels, but we do not need them for our families. And it prices it out of the market, these huge homes, for our families, our workforce families. So that is the whole concern when I saw that 2-floor drop, that typographical error, and city council saying, well, we need to resolve this, and we would prefer no floor limitation. Address it. Well, the way you address it is height. Assuming the measurement is sufficient, taking a measurement on one end and then taking a measurement on the other and taking the average. I don't know. That doesn't seem very analytical. Seems kind of sloppy. Seems ripe for error for the average height. Regardless, the 30 feet, if you looked at the information from the previous packet, the number of homes were under 30 feet. The number of homes above 30 feet, STRs, business STRs. So what is right for this community? Are you, as peers of our community, ready to finally do what's right for our community? Or are you still going to allow gigantic towers that replaced our tree-lined streets with now like we're in New York City? We are not New York City, we're South Haven. And that is what you are being encouraged to do, is look at what is our community, what is the average height of the homes in our community, and it's under 30 feet. And that is what is warranted. If someone wants something higher, let them file for a variance saying the homes around me are higher. This will fit in with my block. But please don't turn our blocks into skyscrapers. We want our tree-lined streets with average homes that fit the average of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Now, my question is with this one, since it's come before us, before we decide that, is, last time we had a tie vote, and we've got, what, 1, 2, 4, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have 8 here tonight, because Clark's gone, yeah. So, could be a possibility of another tie vote. So, do we leave the public hearing open for now and close it after a vote? Or do we close it, and if we get a tie vote again, we'll just republish and meet again?
I think, isn't that what we did last time, is we just kind of closed the public hearing and then reposted it when we,
We did.
Are we going to vote on this? Are you suggesting we?
Well, if there's a motion at some point, but my question is whether or not that you want to close the public hearing or leave it open in case there is a tie vote again.
I think the normal process would be to close the public hearing, and if we vote for a tie, we vote for a tie and we re-advertise the
Okay.
public hearing.
It's fine by me. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Public hearing is closed. Any other discussion?
I'll start. So I was on the fence on this one, but after thinking about all those non-conforming houses that this would make at 30 feet, it made me feel really horrible for ZBA and staff that are now going to have to deal with every single one of those, that because we've changed the height, if they're going to do anything to change anything, we've now made this extra work for them when it already was 35 feet. So, I mean, I feel like I'm team 35, I guess is what I'm trying to say, just to save staff a lot of work, and ZBA a lot of work. I don't want them to have to carry the load because we can't agree on 30 or 35.
I know this is going to sound like a broken record, but I don't think we should make a decision based on what's easiest for staff. I think we should make a decision on what fits the tradition and character of the neighborhood. I think we need to put the residents before the staff.
Oh, I agree. I hear you. I mean, I hear you on that, but I also think that creating non-conforming houses is
I get that, but at some
it's
point,
rough. I mean, that's not an easy decision.
at some point, you have to put a stake in the ground and saying, just because it's always been doesn't mean we should continue down that road. If we looked at every situation that's non-conforming in this city, it's overwhelming. But tell me the consequence of that. I'm not certain. Explain
Well,
to me
when's the
what would
last
be the
time we created
consequence.
something non-conforming here as this body? When's the last time we created something non-conforming?
I don't know if the word's non-conforming,
Okay.
but I know we're often dealing with issues that were once this way or now this way. We have two sets of plot lines, we got two sets of this, it's very, very difficult for anyone to make sense of what our ordinances are. Luke helped me to find out that the property line runs through my neighbor's house. You know, it's like, what are we gonna do? Force my neighbor to take his house down? We're not gonna do that. I
That's
mean,
definitely non-conforming.
but things change, and at some point, we have to, from what I talk to the people that live in my neighborhood, at some point, we have to regain control of our vision of what we want our neighborhoods to be. and not just continue down the way we are because we've always done it that way. I originally was going to offer an amendment to go back to 28 because that was the standard that we came up with when we looked at what's the properties in the cities right now. I talked with Tim, and after looking at what staff proposed at 30, said, you know, that's a reasonable compromise. Reasonable compromise. But if you look at our neighborhoods, and I will admit, I have a bias for design. I believe that's part of our brand. When you build for design versus build for purpose, two separate things happen. When I build a home for design, I'm going to try and match the neighborhood. I'm going to try and look at architecture that's amenable, that fits in. If I'm building for purpose, that's the least of my concerns. If I'm building for purpose and if I'm building an STR, I'm going to build a building that optimizes the amount of space I can put people in. And if it looks like a square box, 3 stories high, so be it. So I just want to take a moment here and put a stake in the ground and say, look, got it. We did 35, we did 40. Although if you walk through the neighborhoods, all the ones that are 35 and 40, I'm going to say are 5 years or less old. Historically, they didn't build them that big. There's very few. But I think it's time to adopt a new limit of 30, and that's what I'm supporting, the staff's recommendation.
Since we're talking about the weight that it puts on the staff, what are the repercussions of to the non-conforming homes, and what does that do to the workload of the staff? Because I just don't want to kind of just arbitrarily say that it's good or it's bad. Let's put it out there.
Yeah, well, anytime someone has a non-conforming structure, and this could be residential or commercial structure, any non-conforming structure typically can't be added on to change significantly without a variance from the ZBA. And so it affects the property owner, it affects the length of time it takes to get through the project. And of course, there's no guarantee when they seek the variance from the ZBA that it will be granted and they'll be able to carry out their project. The ordinances are in place for a good reason. The ZBA shouldn't be granting variances left and right, but it is an additional process. And Brad, feel free to weigh in here. You're working in a lot of communities, not just South Haven, and maybe you've dealt with some projects specific to height that you could talk about. I don't want to put you on the spot, and if not, that's okay.
I think the biggest thing that we have here is when it's a non-conforming structure, the term expansion of the nonconformity often gets thrown around. But the way we have now been interpreting this in the city is if the building changes in any way, shape, or form at all, it has to seek a variance. So if it's a non-conforming structure that is, let's say, 34 feet, and they want to put an addition on the back of the home, they would still have to come and seek a variance because they're changing the physical structure of the building. Some communities look at that as that's not changing a nonconformity, that the nonconformity itself is the height. Therefore, if you're not going taller, you're not changing it. But the way that we are now starting to look at things here is that if it's an alteration to the structure, period, that it's going to go to the zoning board.
So are you saying then that doesn't necessarily add an additional burden, that just is part of the process?
It would be from now on.
Yeah.
It would be
Be
from now
part
on.
of the process. Okay.
Thank you.
Could we have a little more specificity, more specific number on how many non-conforming properties would it create if we went to 30?
I don't have that number. I think that would take a considerable amount of time to gather that data.
And I would suggest that we've already collected the data on the average size, height of our buildings in our city.
For 1 year, permits issued for
Sure.
1 year. Right.
I agree with Mike that I think we should be making these decisions for our community and our residents. I think part of the process of what staff does, and I appreciate all their work certainly, But that's all part of the process that they're involved in, and I just don't, I agree that the process should not dictate what we're looking for our residences in town. So I respectfully disagree, Amy, that
Okay.
it's the residents I have in mind.
Well, and that conversely, if you look at, all of these residents that we are now making non-conforming, we have all added a burden to them. To do anything they do to their home is now going to ZBA. We have added an extra burden to their homeownership. I'm not sure that's the right answer either, so I respectfully disagree too. I think that unfortunately, there's not a great answer here, and there's issues with each decision we make, if that's helpful.
Well, let me weigh in if I could. Two things. Number one, our decisions should be made based on what's best for the city. What's best for my neighbors needs to be made at city council by my representative there. So we should be looking at what's best for the city overall. My second point is when it comes to creating nonconformities, once again, we need to be looking at what's best for the city, not what creates more work. And I'm saying that as a member of the ZBA, which some of you are very concerned about.
Brad, I meant to ask you this last meeting. You deal with a lot of communities, and each one has different heights that are allowable. Is there a correlation between heights chosen and in conjunction with the setbacks chosen? And how that, I think, what's the term used, shadow? Two buildings, and one creates a shadow over the other one. Is there a standard number, so high, you have to be so far apart, or?
Not typically in single-family
Yeah.
detached. You get that in multifamily, larger building areas where they'll require step backs and things like that, depending on the scale and mass of the buildings themselves. But typically in a 2-story, 2.5-story, single-family district neighborhood, they don't, no.
Okay. Unless there's any further discussion, I'll entertain a motion of some sort.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion, and then we'll see where it goes. I'll make a motion to recommending the proposed ordinance go to city council, but with a change to the height limitations in residential districts from 30 feet to 35 feet.
Support.
So you're amending this, right? Okay.
Could I ask you, Mr. Chairman, not to use the word amendment unless it's to a motion?
Well, he amended the text, correct?
He's changing the text.
Yeah.
Amendment is to a motion.
All right, so technically, what we need to do then is, in your motion, say strike this language.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Change the language to 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear on it. All right, is there support?
I did, I supported.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would propose an amendment. I would move an amendment to change the height limitation to 30 feet. Item C on the staff report.
Okay.
Support?
It's been moved and supported to amend it from 35 to 30. Any other discussion? If not, Luke, if you'll call the roll on the amendment.
Larry Heinig.
Yes.
Darrell Williams.
No.
Michael Neese.
Yes.
Amy Nichols.
No.
Elijah Haney.
Yes.
George Sleeper,
No.
Janice Varney,
Yes.
Tim Stegman.
No. Tie vote. Motion doesn't pass, so we're back to the amendment doesn't pass to the motion, and now we're back to the original motion. Any other discussion or amendments? Seeing none?
I do have,
Okay, go ahead.
you know, after I missed the last meeting, so I was recovering from an illness. I had an opportunity is to really review my documents. And then I also had an opportunity is to look at some of the old past meetings. I think that we've got to understand, although we have a beautiful city the way it is, and we all have that passion, is to protect the city. You have to know that we are in the process of evolving, and there is absolutely nothing that is going to stay the same. I just believe that, and I think that when you go to other cities, you see new homes in the midst of, older homes. When I look at my block, at how it has evolved, I believe, the first new home on our block. And now there are new homes all around us. And I have a 4,500 square foot home, but there are some that are bigger than mine and taller. At the end of the day, I think that we have to look at not only what is best for our residents, but in essence, you have to look at what is best for our community so we can continue to evolve. That's just my own personal opinion.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, we're back to the original motion, which is 35 feet rather than 30. Luke, if you call the roll.
Varney,
No.
Williams,
Yes.
Heinig,
No.
Neese,
No.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hanny,
No.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. It's a tie vote again.
32 and a half.
So now it's Clark's fault. Last time it was Lige's fault.
Spreading it around.
Yep.
All right, so we're at a crossroads here.
Well, I think, I did hear someone I don't know if that was you, Mike, someone made a joke about 32 and a half, but we're talking about 30 and 35. Does 32 make a difference? I don't know, for your consideration for next time, since it looks like we'll be visiting this again, it's 5 feet of difference between 30 and 35 feet. Does it I know 30 and 35 feet are nice, clean numbers, but maybe 32 feet is something to consider.
Yeah, I suspect the next meeting we'll have to, hopefully, there aren't a lot of other items on the agenda, and we'll really have to discuss it and find a compromise at some point. Unless all 9 are here.
See if that happens. I would ask, and I don't know what's involved in it, Kelly, maybe it's too big a burden, but I would like to be dealing with some numbers before we make a decision. I'm not concerned about non-conforming if it's 15. If it's 300, I might be. So I want to know the scope of the issue that we're afraid of this non-conforming stuff.
Okay, so let's move on with the knowledge that this will be returning. So we have item 6 of unfinished business, which is procedures and bylaws, which is page 27 of your agenda. Agenda packet. Staff has made the changes that were discussed last meeting. I'm pretty sure they're From my notes comparing to what's here, it looks like everything's here. Unless anybody else saw something that was in error. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Kelly, about this item?
No, I don't.
Well, while you get-
I guess I'll take that back. I would add that we did send them to the city attorney for review, just to make sure that, as requested, that things looked okay to him, and he did not find any additional changes
Okay.
that he would recommend.
All right, while the commission's looking through their notes, is there anybody in the audience wishes to speak on this item?
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. So I gave out, and I apologize for being one short, comments on this. So I'm just going to go through on 4.9.
Mary, if you would, hang on one second. Does there need to be a public hearing on this?
No public hearing is
no.
required.
Okay. Sorry about interrupting you, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't need to open a public hearing and then have
Got
you
it.
speak. Okay, continue. And you'll get your time that
I think he
took from
stopped
you.
it, so we're good. Hopefully, I won't need it all. 4.9, under hearings, it talks about that the hearing shall be scheduled and due notice given, yada, yada. And in addition, the following rules shall be observed. And I note that number D, that during, and I would suggest saying public hearing, the chairperson shall acknowledge any correspondence received that pertains to that noticed topic. I appreciate putting all the items at the front, but as I've been saying all along, it would be beneficial to have those written submissions discussed at each topic versus then at the start. And I had suggested that, the public hearing conducted by the commission shall run in an orderly, timely fashion and shall take place with each applicable agenda item. Down under A2, read the public hearing announcement. Oh, no, that was, sorry. And then jump down to B5. That was the attorneys. I appreciate the chair allowing extra time if warranted. I know that that has happened at BRA, and that was very beneficial for citizens to be able to comment on the presentation material. As I already stated in sub D, suggest saying public hearing so it's clear, and that the comments are read at that time. It can be interspersed. For the open meetings provisions under B, it's my understanding that the zoning administrator calls everybody beforehand to make sure that there's no questions and that there's discussion, and that's all fine and good. But if any of that is influencing your decision, then that really should be considered deliberation. And really, there should be an overview of what those discussions were, because otherwise, that is discussions with the planning commissioners who are taking facts into deliberation that are not part of the public hearing. And that just is not fair for the residents not to hear what is said in addition to the staff report, and what questions you may have had that we do not benefit from hearing the answers to those questions. So if you have questions that are answered off the record, to me, Open Meeting Act, they really should be done, a synopsis should be done on the record. I believe that's pretty standard recommendations from all course instructors for Open Meetings Act. Under the proposed order of the agenda, I had put in green, just so it's painfully clear that advertise public hearings as noted on the agenda so that we know that there will be a public hearing. And I think that's even more important for the new business, is just saying that if there is going to be a public hearing, that is where public comment will be. Just because it's very confusing for us to know when we are going to be able to speak and not be able to speak, and therefore that way we would know if we really wanted something detailed, we try to get it to you ahead of time. And towards that end, I appreciate everybody's busy. Unfortunately, with how agendas come out sometimes, there's not time to get minutes or comments to staff before the weekend, and then you guys get them on Monday, and you've probably reviewed it over the weekend, so it's kind of a cart before the horse, egg before the chicken. Something could possibly be done more efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Commissioners? I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised rules of procedure as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion?
I just want one clarification, please. And at the last meeting when we discussed this, I was concerned that if our presenter, a developer or a presenter brought their business forward and it changed some of the dynamics of what we had read in our packets, we would be able to have the general public come up to speak to that. And I think you addressed it by saying the chair would have could have that discretion if there was some variance in what was being said and what was in here. I also want to make sure that, and I think you proposed this at the last meeting too, that if the chair doesn't do it, any of the committee members can say, I would like to open this up again for public comment.
And we'd do it like a regular motion. You
Okay.
would do that, somebody
right.
would second it, and we'd vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ensure that people in the public have an opportunity to respond to something that may differ from what we have in our packet, and have that opportunity and are not close to that after the presentation.
Okay. Anything else? And I think last meeting it was George, why we put 5A and 6A in, right? And that addressed your concern?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No further discussion. We'll also do a roll call on this, if you would, Luke.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Vonnie,
Yes.
Gruber,
He's not
Williams, sorry,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hanny,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. And then I think we'll also entertain a motion that when it goes into effect.
I make a motion that the adopted changes take effect for our next meeting, which is March.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? No? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Okay. On to the new business, the other business. We have item 7, 880 Monroe Boulevard. And it's similar to 888 Monroe Boulevard. So, Kelly?
Yes, 880 and 888 Monroe are neighboring properties. Both property owners would like to install in-ground pools with safety covers in the lakefront yards. You'll recall that pools and lakefront yards are permitted with a special land use, and so that's why the Planning Commission is being asked to review these applications. Both projects are very similar, so I'll give a brief overview of both, but we'll want to make sure that we conduct the public hearings separately and any action that you may take separately for each project. Both of these parcels are approximately half-acre lots in the R1B district. Both of the pools are proposed to be 14-foot by 28-foot. They will be installed by Mo's Construction with landscaping done by Coastal. They both meet setback requirements of being at least 10 feet from the property lines and 4 feet from the homes. Both yards will be fenced in with 4-foot-tall black decorative fencing. Both will have some landscaping, some hardscape in it around the pool. These projects are very similar to others on Monroe that you all have reviewed in the past, including the two neighboring properties immediately to the south. One difference between the two is that the property at 880 Monroe contains an existing retaining wall, whereas 888 does not. Waterfront development that requires Planning Commission review also requires Harbor Commission review, so that group did review and recommend approval of both of these applications at the January 17th meeting. And we have Weston Greaves here tonight from Coastal to represent the projects and to answer any questions that you all may have.
Okay. Could you put up page 52, 53?
To zoom out, is there one page you like better than the other?
Well, I think maybe reduce it a little bit and you can get both on there. Yeah, that works. Okay.
If I can make one note on,
Yeah.
on these images that you're looking at, this first page that's black and white is the corrected page with the correct setbacks. The original submittal did not indicate correct setbacks. So the property owners did submit the correction before bringing it to you. So I just want to make that note. We included both in the packet because I thought this aerial image was helpful, but the first page here has the corrected setbacks.
Okay. And we are going to take these one at a time. And other than Kelly's synopsis, Weston, was there anything you wanted to say regarding the 880 project?
No, I don't believe that there's really much to say. They conform to the setbacks. The neighboring properties, as Kelly stated, have similar pools and landscaping structures. We're pretty much just staying in line with what the neighbors are doing.
Okay. All right. Any questions while he's up here for this one? Okay, thank you. Anybody in the audience wish to speak on this?
Do we need a motion to open a public hearing on this?
Oh, yeah, we've got to do that.
I make a motion to open the public hearing on 880 Monroe Boulevard.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to open public hearing. All in favor, or any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Anybody in the audience wish to speak on this item?
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. Just general comments. First, I appreciate everybody's really busy, but I'm disappointed that the shore revetment work has not been completed and we do not have protection for our shoreline, especially with the situation where there's revetments along the whole beach. It shows that there's erosion potential there, and I would think excavating even further towards the bluff is not environmentally the best thing to do. But with the delay of how long it's taken, I know this has been something that's been ongoing for several months because it was being discussed over a year ago. And in the meanwhile, just pool after pool after pool gets cemented in, and our bluffs get decimated and homes get built because we don't have that protection. So unfortunately, as you say time after time, your hands are tied, there's nothing you can do. And all I can say is when Mother Nature comes, if the pool goes away, that's unfortunate. And I always wonder, would the erosion have been slower had it not been mutilated to put in a pool for people? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to close the public hearing. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Is there another motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the, let me get the words here, to approve the proposed in-ground pool at 880 Monroe Boulevard with the conditions, the 4 conditions in the staff report.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's do a roll call on this as well, if you would, Luke.
Hanny,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. Pass. Now we'll go to item 8, 888 Monroe Boulevard. Kelly's already given us a synopsis. Basically, the only 2 differences between the properties is one has a existing retaining wall. Wesson, you'd like to say anything about this one? Okay. Very good. I'll entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move we open the public hearing for 888 Monroe Boulevard swimming pool.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Public hearing's open. Anybody wish to speak on this item?
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive, just incorporate by reference everything I just said. That's pertinent for the property. I'm not sure that both of them have the revetments, but that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move we close the public hearing for 888 Monroe Boulevard.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to close the public hearing. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Public hearing is closed. I'll entertain a motion for 888 Monroe Boulevard.
I make a motion that we approve the site plan and special land use request for 888 Monroe Boulevard swimming pool
Support.
with
Nope.
the noted, with the noted conditions 1 through 4.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Luke, since we did a roll on the last one, we'll do it on this as well.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hanny,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. Item 9, 835 Black River Street, and why don't you put up page 82?
Okay, we'll do that in just a second. 835 Black River, the property owner, John Kurtz, who is present this evening, applied for planning commission review for the replacement of a shoreline revetment structure that currently exists on the property, which is zoned R1B. The current structure has split in the middle and is not able to be repaired. The current proposal would install about 141 linear feet of replacement steel sheet piling immediately waterward of the existing structure. And there will also be approximately 16 cubic yards of stone riprap along the toe of the seawall. The applicant has submitted and received permits from Eagle and Army Corps of Engineers. This application was also reviewed by the Harbor Commission on January 17th and recommended for approval. This item requires Planning Commission approval as a site plan review, but not a special land use, so no public hearing was noticed for this item.
Okay.
And can you remind me one more time the page you'd like to see?
82.
82, that's what I had up.
Or at least to start with.
A9 is a good picture.
Or actually, you know, let's go to 89.
Okay.
That's a little bigger overview. Yes, that one. Okay. Are there any questions for staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a more complete set of drawings than what is in our packet? There's just one cross-section there, that's all.
And we determined that that was sufficient for this type of replacement structure. You know, if you all discuss tonight and decide you need to see more information, that's well within your purview.
Okay.
Is there something more you'd rather see, Larry?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the applicant here? I'll
Yes.
ask the question
Yes.
when he's available.
Well, all right, we'll get to that. Any other questions for staff before I invite the applicant up? No? Okay. If you'd like to come up. And this, who is this? John, okay. Good evening, John.
Good evening.
Larry has a question for you.
Is the existing wood wall tied back in any way? Or is it just the wood sitting there and just because it's been there a while, it remembers to stay?
I think that's the condition.
You can move this up.
I think that's the condition. My neighbor's wall, you can see the tiebacks in the wall itself. My wall, you can't see anything on the wall. Where it has failed, there appears to be something there, but it's obviously not, it's not how anyone who knows what they're doing would do.
Okay. Do you know what kind of spacing on your tiebacks you would be using? Has anybody done any engineering calculations?
I thought that was in the,
I see one cross-section under that shows a tieback.
Right.
But I don't know how many of them are going to be there, or what their spacing is.
I don't know offhand. I thought that's in the information that was provided, but I have to look through it to see how many. There was a spacing on it.
Yeah,
so
I'm
that
looking at page 91.
Yes, I am too. Yeah, it's just a profile, isn't it?
Yeah, just a single cross-section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the question Larry wants to know is how many feet apart are the tiebacks?
Okay, I can't answer that right at this moment. This was done last summer for Eagle, and so it's been a while.
Think we're missing a page? Because you're right, it shouldn't be just a sectional.
I mean, these are the drawings that were required by Eagle, so that's what was provided. There was no direction from the city.
I would be surprised that Eagle would have approved this without some sort of engineering behind it. Yeah.
yeah, it would.
The
distance
spacing on
between-
those would be important. The size of the tieback, the steel batter pile there would be important. All that, I would think, somebody with an engineering background should have a look at. Okay.
Yep.
You don't have the answer to my question, so
No,
that's.
I'm not an
that's fine.
engineer, so I have no idea.
Right.
I'm just
Are
a
there-
property owner.
Does anybody else have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay, thank you. So I guess we could make a motion with approval contingent on that being provided or come back?
I would be happy to, with the contingent that it go to the engineering department, the city engineer, for a review. That would be, that's sufficient for me.
Yeah. That a plan overview be provided showing the distance between the tiebacks?
Oh, the entire
Yeah,
sheeting and bracing system be reviewed.
okay.
By the
Why-
city
Why don't
engineer.
you make that motion then?
Are we to that point? You
Yeah.
ready? Okay. I would move approval of the, I gotta get my wording here.
I think we're on page,
Approval of the shoreline protection for 835 Black River Road with the contingency that the city engineer review the engineering of the sheet pile wall. And do we have others and other recommendations from staff here?
I didn't see any.
There were none.
There were none, okay.
I'll second that.
okay, it's been moved and supported. And then just other part about this site plan review, we'll just quick go over those 4 bullet points. Project doesn't extend beyond the city harbor lines, I think we agree that's true. Project will not impede navigation. I guess it depends how the wall's installed, does it not? If it's from land or via barge. Do you know how they're planning on constructing the wall? Okay. The project will not adversely affect the adjacent property owners' access to their property. Looks like there's multiple drives. And project will not adversely affect the adjacent property owners' ability to develop their own property. I believe that's correct. Would everybody be in agreement? Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll just keep doing roll calls, Luke, since you're good at it.
Go for a record tonight.
Yeah.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hanny,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. You guys understand what just happened? There's a contingency on the approval. Yes. Okay. Very good. The item 10, 2023 snapshot report. Kelly?
Thank you.
And what page are we on?
116.
116.
16 now. Thank you.
Okay. The 2023 STR snapshot report has been prepared as directed by Section 1743 of our zoning ordinance. And this report was presented to the city council at the January 16 meeting. There's no requirement that the planning commission review and approve this report, but historically it's been provided to this group, and so we're doing that tonight. It's in your packet, really an informational piece for you all. Graham, our assistant manager, did give a pretty thorough presentation at the council meeting, so if any of you are really interested in hearing that presentation, those meetings are all online and available for you to watch through the city's website. Tonight, I want to just cover some brief highlights, just to hit on some of the things that are kind of more in the public interest about this report. So as of January 4th of this year, we have 708 short-term rental dwelling units. This includes personal units and the business units, both exempt and non-exempt. The personal STRs are considered the less intense use, and the number of times each unit can be rented is limited to 6 days and 28 days per year. The business STRs are the more intense use. These allow unlimited rentals, but they are further subject to a 1-to-4 saturation ratio, which is described again in section 1743 of the ordinance. The exempt versus non-exempt designation can be confusing, but in short, homes that are within our PUD developments like Trailside and Harbor Club, those are exempt from the saturation ratio, as well as attached condominiums. And most everything else, homes within single-family residential districts, those are not exempt from the saturation ratio. So staff used 2020 census housing unit and local permit data and determined the maximum number of dwelling units in the city that could be permitted to be non-exempt business STRs for 2023, as well as the number of new business non-exempt certificates that are available for this year, and that number is 48. Recently, some community members have reached out to staff to express disagreement with the methodology used to calculate the number of certificates available for 2023. That was some of the correspondence that you all received prior to tonight. I guess I just wanted to say the methods that we use this year for the report are consistent with what has been done in the past. We understand that people may disagree, but we are confident in our data, and we're willing to take a look and revisit any of these suggestions for next year. But for the current report, it will stand.
Okay, is that it?
That's it. Unless you all have questions, I'm happy to field questions, to answer questions, but really just wanted to provide a brief highlight and give you make sure you knew you had the report for your information.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? I guess my one point would be we've been using the same methodology for how many years now? 5?
I was gonna say 4, but it could be
4?
5.
And if we were to change, then it becomes more difficult, I think, to compare year to year, which was the goal of this report, correct? But, okay. So any other questions for staff? No? Does anybody in the audience wish to speak on this report?
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. Unfortunately, the same process hasn't been used. Staff says it has been, but it hasn't. So for this year, they have added new construction. That has never been included before. That is new this year. So although they say the process is the same, the process is different. And by that process, they have added 90 new homes to the base number from which they calculate the permitted business STRs. When they provided me the raw data, I went through it. So in looking at those new homes, anything for which even just a simple zoning permit was issued, not even a building permit. Granted, there was only one instance, but just a zoning permit, it was identified as a new build. None of them had to be finalized. They didn't have to have an occupancy permit, and they got counted as a new home. They had one new home that was a PUD. That should have been excluded, but it was added to the base. So as the information I sent, and I apologize sending to some of you for whom I have your personal email, but I wanted you to have it as soon as possible. And they also didn't exclude the 12 apartments. So they left the same, so they have 12 new apartments, but in the number of excluded apartments, they didn't exclude those additional new 12. So they added a PUD, they added 12 apartments to the base, and they added anything for which a zoning permit had been issued, regardless of whether it had been finalized or not. Whether ground had even been broken, it got counted as a new dwelling for STR purposes. So the numbers really don't make sense. Staff has said my numbers don't make sense. I gave a very detailed explanation. I don't know, I don't understand why they don't follow it. They asked to meet with me, and I said sure, and I asked to have a couple city council persons meet and a handful of concerned citizens, because we do have concerns. I come up with 7 fewer, 15% less, and I believe that's even inflated considering 90 were added to the base, and that 90 makes no sense. So the process, although they say, so the process is not just the same lines with the same descriptions with different numbers. They actually added a new line for new builds and demos, which they had never included before. So the process, contrary to their representations and assertions and their adamancy of the numbers are accurate. And you have to realize this report was issued on Friday. City Council was on Monday. We had no raw data. Citizens really had no opportunity to pressure test this. And towards that end, even just recently, to show why we should be concerned with what staff is doing, there's a building permit which was allowed, and on the face of it, on the face of the building permit, it was over 40% lot coverage. Over 40% on the face. And on that face, and that's not using the right measurements. On the face, it was only going from wall to wall, not eave to eave, drip line. So not only using inaccurate and deficient numbers was it over, they didn't properly calculate it. And so there are errors that have come from staff time and time again. We've been in legal battle, the city, 77 Clinton, they're paying, I don't remember what the settlement was to get out of that snafu, but with the mistakes that the staff has made over this last year, and there, I believe, are 3 litigations, 77 Clinton, 240 Oak, I thought there was another, I can't recall it. I'm sorry, this report should not have been accepted. I was very disappointed, City Council did, and the numbers are wrong. Our community is impacted by it, and it should be redone because it's not compliant with the zoning ordinance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. So I guess unless there's questions for staff about this, the only thing we need to do is make a motion to acknowledge a receipt of it, not really approving it. I suppose a secondary, if you do have questions, like Mary indicated, that motion to acknowledge receipt and recommend that City Council review the process of how this report is made.
We've got a report in front of us.
Yeah.
Think we ought to acknowledge that we've accepted it. If City Council wants to review the process, that's their purview. It's not ours. This is not a zoning report.
Right.
No.
I agree.
So, with that, I move we note acceptance of the short-term rental snapshot report for 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Mike, I see you're chomping at the bit.
I liked your words, Tim. We reviewed it. I was a little befuddled why we even get this. The truth of the matter is, we're not the body to approve it.
No.
That's not our job.
Staff said it was a courtesy report.
Right.
Copy
The
given to us.
reason is because all the time we spent with short-term rental ordinance through here, we wanted to see what the result resulting report looked
Yeah,
like.
no,
It was nothing more than that.
I get that, but it's important to me that we acknowledge the receipt of it and that we don't include the word accept, because that has a positive connotation that we accept the findings.
Right.
And I'm not sure I do.
That was your wording, was it not, Larry?
That we note
Acknowledge the receipt?
that we acknowledge receipt
Yeah.
of the report.
Yeah, I thought he said accept, okay.
No. it was
Well-
Acknowledge receipt.
Okay,
Acknowledge receipt.
I'll take that wording.
Okay. Do we have that right, Luke?
Yep, that's what he has.
I think it was to note acceptance of the STR snapshot report. Was that was the wording?
So Larry's changing it to acknowledge receipt without us going through all the amendment stuff. I think we're safe. And you still supported?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none. We're gonna do roll call, Luke.
Varney,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hanny,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. Report has been received. Next item, public comment. Citizens in the audience may address the planning commission regarding items not on this agenda. Is there anybody that wishes to address us on items not on this agenda? No. Okay. Then we'll go to staff comments. What's on tap for next month, by the way?
Oh, I think we've got a couple of applications to review in the coming days. I think we'll be busy, just as we expect. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
How about, where are we at with our fire pit review committee?
Yeah, so we had a meeting scheduled for January 26th, and members were not able to attend after all, and so we do need to reschedule. That
Okay.
committee is Mike and Clark and Lige,
Okay,
and we haven't rescheduled yet.
all right. Is there any problem with the time, or?
That's been the case, Mr. Chairman. We feel the urgency to get this thing done.
Okay,
The problem has been logistics.
okay.
Clark wants to be out in Colorado instead of with us talking about fire pits, but
All right.
what can we do?
Yeah, he's not here to defend himself, so it's his fault.
Well-
But Kelly has been
I know.
diligent in trying to find the earliest time, and
Okay.
I just encourage that. We want to get it done.
Is there anybody on the committee that thinks they won't be able to attend the next scheduled one? If we gotta find a replacement? No? Okay. All right. Very good.
Super. I did also want to let you all know, I forwarded an email about citizen planner training opportunity. In-person citizen planner is being offered in Lake Township beginning in March. So this will be a 6-week course. They will meet Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9. It is a substantial commitment, and I know with the drive time, it does add extra to your schedule. It really is a great opportunity for kind of the deep dive into planning and zoning. It's also a great opportunity to connect with peers, to learn from other communities, kind of do the compare and contrast.
And there's a scholarship for that?
Through Citizen Planner,
Yeah.
that could be the case. I didn't remember seeing that part.
I think what I read was one person from each town would be paid for.
Oh, super. Super.
So more than that, though, the city would have to pick up the cost.
Sure.
Right?
Yes,
It was like $200.
yes. Yeah,
It wasn't real expensive, but it wasn't cheap either.
right. I will also let you know that Citizen Planner is available online. It's a self-paced course. I think that it's not as good as being in person, but I do think it's still very high quality and worth the time and effort. So if you're interested in the training but can't make it to Lake Township for 6 weeks this spring, then just let us know and maybe consider the online option.
Okay. That's it?
That's
More?
No more, no less.
Okay. Brad, any words of advice for us this month? No? Okay. Well, where'd we start last month? Larry?
Started with me.
Okay, we'll start with Janice then.
Okay, well, Larry, I want to thank you for noticing the number and spacing of the tiebacks. That was very astute of you. Appreciate that. And I want to thank the staff. Certainly, I know the arduous task of putting together a snapshot report, and also Mary for her suggestions, and looking forward to maybe incorporating as the staff sees fit in our next go-around for the following year. But everybody is working very hard, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Mary, for your comments tonight. I also want to put in a plug for the Citizen Planner program. I recently attended an in-person Citizen Planner course, really thought very highly of it, learned a lot. And so if you haven't participated in that, I highly recommend it. That's it.
Yes, thanks once again to staff. And I'm sure you know this, but my reticence not to act on things because it would put more burden on staff is not aimed at staff. It's aimed at council and city management that says, get the resources necessary to relieve the burden. We don't take the work off the plate. We make sure that there's people available to complete that work. So I want to make sure that that's clear, that I'm not thinking you guys are slacking off down there. I'm really interested in Citizen Planner. I'm waiting on two things. I don't really know when my term ends. But if my term ends at the end of this year, it doesn't make sense for the city to spend the resources to get me to that point. But if I'm here for another couple of years, I'd definitely be interested in it. And as a trainer, thank you for pointing out that it's always better in person. So. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, staff, for the work that you're doing. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, staff, and I don't have any other comments. I know you guys are going to find that hard to believe, but I don't.
Thank you.
Okay. You know, I was just reminded, Clark did ask us to excuse him last meeting, didn't we? And we didn't.
We haven't adjourned yet.
No, we haven't adjourned yet, but
Excuse for Clark.
I think it's okay.
May I comment?
Yeah, you can.
I was a little concerned when I read that the Harbor Commission was recommending that we approve some of the work that we did tonight. It's, you know, they have their area of interest and their area of expertise, and we certainly want them to look at it and approve that. But to recommend that we recommend approval to the city council seems to be overstepping their bounds. Did any of the rest of you feel that way?
Well, I know we have some funky ordinances where there's some overlap between planning and harbor.
Well, the overlap is all right, but I wouldn't recommend that they do something just because it needed some zoning input. I would recommend that the zoning would approve it. But I'm just concerned that maybe the wording might cause us some problems sometimes. If that could be just worded so that Harbor Commission approves their area.
And leave it at that.
Or some better wording than that, of course, but and leave it at that, and forward it along to the planning commission, or however that needs to be worded. But they do their thing and we do our thing.
Okay,
Makes sense.
very good. All right, I suppose the only real item, and Mary brought this to my attention during her time at the podium, is if individual commissioners are receiving correspondence from a resident, and let's say only 2 or 3 of you are receiving it, the rest don't, unless it's also sent to city staff, and staff, because that's how we normally work, it's sent to staff, and staff forwards it to us. That way, everybody gets the same thing, and if there is a FOIA request, that it's all available. So I just caution you again, you've had the training of when you're dealing with the public. If you alone receive something, and you don't know if other people are blind copied, right? But if you receive something, even if you think other people received it, forward it to staff. That way they can forward it again to everybody else, okay? I don't want to see anybody get caught up in a mess like that, okay?
Good reminder.
Yeah. Would staff have any other advice for that situation?
I think that's a great suggestion. I think that another opportunity, if you realize that you received something and didn't send through staff to everyone else, it's always something that you can discuss at the public meeting the next time this group meets, to discuss what was discussed in your conversations, whether those be in person or on email, so that the group has the same information.
Okay. All right, that's it. So, can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and supported to adjourn. Any other discussion?
I think we should have a roll call.
Are you calling for one? Did you call for a roll call, or are you joking?
No, that was Nelson that said that.
What?
That was Mike that said that.
You did call for a roll call?
It was a suggestion.
He called for it. I can't deny it.
Right, Jim?
But don't look at me on that one, Luke.
I brought him coffee, so.
We both, same time.
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese. Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes, okay. Meeting, thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, Tim.
What'd ZBA do?
So,
You get paid